Yeah, big fight. What you want to know?
What's gonna happen, man? It's back to Thomas Mack seeing the prime against Marquez.
Listen, man, it's a tough fight, man. I never take on easy opponents. I always fight the best available guys out there. Brandon Rios wanted to fight me. Hey, I told you, man. You pay me to fight anybody, I'll fight him. You know what I'm saying? So the fight is gonna happen. It's gonna be explosive. The fight fans know what to expect. They know what I bring. They know what Rios bring. Non-stop action.
Going back to Thomas Mack, which might be arguably your greatest win against Marquez.
My greatest fight ever.
I'd like to go there.
It's my greatest fight ever.
You fought.
Yeah, it was my greatest fight ever there. But the Thomas Mack Center, did a $75 million facelift, so it is gonna be different. So it's the first fight back, at Thomas Mack since they did the facelift. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be new. It's gonna be great.
Does that make it better than going to the forum that they originally wanted?
Well, the forum is close to home. It's California. We two California natives, so I think it's great. But I love the fact that it's in Vegas. We'll be one of the shows, and I said the Wynn. The Wynn is nice. So we'll be one of the shows that night, November 7th. And I love, me, man. I'm a businessman, dude. Vegas, no taxes.
Tim, we interviewed Teddy Atlas today. He's excited. You're excited. Why Teddy? What was it about him that said that's the guy?
Well, Teddy don't have a million fighters. Teddy was retired. I told Teddy, hey man, you can't die with all that knowledge, buddy. You gotta pass it on. And the reason why Teddy actually is doing this is because of the person that I am. The life that I live outside of the ring. Now I'm a family guy. He's the same way. He wants to help me, and he knows he can help me get better. And that's the reason why I chose Teddy. It was one thing that he told me after my fight, Jesse Vargas fight. He said, Tim, he did an interview with me. He said, Tim, he said, do you know why you got hit with that right hand? And I said, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I know why, because I got careless in the last round and I dropped my left hand. He said, yeah, you did that, but he was like, no, you want to know the real reason why? And I was like, what, Teddy? He said, okay. He said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back. I want you to watch round 1. Okay? Watch round 1 and see what you do. Go and watch round 6, go and watch round 11, and then go watch round 12. And I was like, man, does this guy study me or something? Like, what the heck, So he said, this is what you look for. You look for yourself, you roll back your shoulders, and you telegraph your punch. You give your opponent a sign of what you're going to do. He said, you did in the first round, all right? And he said, he just missed you. He just missed you with the overhand right, He said, you did in the 6th, you did in the 11th. He grazed you in the 11th, and in the 12th, he landed that big shot. And he said, you know what you do when a guy drops in front of you? I said, no, I'm going to put my hands up. He said, no, you drop down to his level. And I was like, you drop to his level? He's like, yeah, when you see a guy, he's trying to sneak you. He drops down in front of you, he's trying to sneak you over the top. And I was like, wow. I was never taught that. I didn't know that. So I was like, wow, man. This guy has a high IQ. He hasn't trained fighting in a year, but he trained some of the best fighters in the world. Particularly Mike Tyson. He trained Mike Tyson for many years. He had Povetkin, who was a Russian champion. He has a lot of other guys as well. So, like I said, he has the time. He's gonna work it out with his schedule. I'm his only fighter. So, I feel it's a great fit, man. I think it's a great fit. I think I learned a lot from Teddy.
Was all that in the first meeting that he told you all that? Was that just off the first?
I didn't even meet him.
That was just a
that was on a conversation that was on the interview I did with him after my Jesse Vargas fight. So with that being said, the meeting was like, when I met with him 2 days. I spent probably half a day with him. The second day, the first day, I spent about 7 hours with him. We watched video, we watched film, we watched my fights. We were just critiquing, all the things I did wrong. And he told me, he said, listen, Tim, there's small sins and there's mortal sins in boxing. He was like, you've been committing mortal sins. He said, if we can eliminate those mortal sins, he was like, you'll be a lot better off, champ. And I was like, okay. So he said, this training camp, we're gonna work on not committing those mortal sins. And when you're fighting against a guy like Rios, who's tough, who's gonna come in your face, who's gonna throw big bombs, he said, you can't commit these mortal sins against this guy. He said, he will make you pay, Tim. And I said, okay. And he said, hey, you might not change overnight, you know, in one training camp. But I can tell you, I'll make you a better fighter in 7 weeks, 20% better, 30% better in 7 weeks.
Tim, you know, I spoke to Joel Diaz, and it sounds like you're alluding to some of the stuff that he wasn't teaching you, but he spoke his piece. Can you speak your piece? Because a lot of fans haven't really heard your side.
Listen, man, I'm not gonna speak on Joel Diaz. He's a great, you know, he is a great trainer. We won 5 World Championships together. I'm not gonna disrespect the man in any way. It doesn't matter what he says. I know what happened, you know, and I'd rather not talk about it. The camp will be at home.
Everybody that I talk about this fight is excited. I haven't found one person to say, they say either they pick Bradley or they pick Rios. Everyone has an opinion. What response have you been getting in the last 5 days since they announced it?
Tough fight. It's a tough fight. I know it's a tough fight. You know, that's all I fight is tough fights, guys. Come on, man. It's all I fight is tough guys. And you know, when you got a guy that's willing to fight me, and I'm willing to fight, like I told you, anybody. I'm not ducking anybody. You know, the first time this fight was trying to be made, I wasn't ducking Rios. Everybody's saying I'm trying to duck this guy.
But Tim, how crazy is it that both you and Brandon are in Southern California, both of you with Top Rank, and you guys never had a conversation?
Well, we had the same manager at one point in the time, and now that we don't have the same manager, now we're able to make it happen.
Tim, you've been a real exciting fighter your last 2 fights. You turned it around. A lot of fans like you. But with Teddy Atlas, is that going to change, or are we still going to see an exciting Tim Bradley in that ring?
Of course, you're going to see an exciting Tim Bradley. Teddy Atlas is not going to change my style. He's just going to make me better with my style. That's what it's about, baby. You know, he's just going to make me better with my style. That's it, man. I'm still the same guy, you know, coming forward, you know, boxing when I have to, doing the things that got me to the top.
Do you understand that you're probably going to have to fight him on the inside? That's what he wants. That's what he wants to bang with you.
Hey, man, you can't run forever. So, you know, you're going to have to go to the trenches sooner or later, you know, and I know I'm going to have to go in the trenches against a guy like Brandon Rios, who's always in my face. So I will be ready for that, man. We'll be ready for that. We'll be ready to move. We'll be ready to do whatever it takes to win the fight. But let me tell you, man, all the fans out there, don't miss this fight, man. It's gonna be a heck of a fight, baby. And I know everybody's amped up to see this fight November 7th. And you know, and I know Brandon Rios is full, ready, fledged. He feels he can knock me out. He can take me out. He sees vulnerability in my craft, and he wants to expose it.
Okay, last question. When Sunday morning, when Floyd retires, who does Tim Bradley have as the best active pound-for-pound fighter?
Andre Ward.
Why Ward?
And listen, Andre Ward has been fighting, you know, was fighting a battle with his promoter. Now he's with, you know, Rock Nation. He's getting himself established. Andre Ward has a high IQ, huge IQ. He knows the sweet science. He can box. He can be there. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Not an Olympic gold medalist for no reason. He can deal with styles. This guy is the real deal, man. And if I honestly, truthfully believe, honestly, man, and anybody can take this and run with it, whatever. It's my opinion, so I can say whatever I want to say. I honestly think Andre Ward is the best fighter pound for pound on the planet.
Right now?
Right now, on the planet. And they say, oh, how would you say that? I just think skill for skill, man. No one can match him. No one can outthink him. He's quick. He gets in and out of guys. He steps aside. He knows how to fight well. He knows every aspect of the ring. And he hasn't lost since he was 12 years old.
That's true.
It's unreal, dude.
All right, message to your fans if they're watching, Tim Bradley.
Fans, you know what we bring, baby. We bring heart, we bring determination, we bring will into the ring. You know, we bring that intensity. And it's gonna be no different when it comes November 7th. We're gonna bring all these elements into this fight against Rios, and it should be a fun night for all the fans watching.
There you have it, Tim Bradley, Desert Storm.
Tim, one question. You just gave like kind of a laundry list of things that Teddy Atlas says he saw that you need to correct. Are you going to be able to correct all of them for the next fight, or you think it's more of a work in process?
Like I told you, it's a work in progress, but I told you there's small sins and mortal sins. That's what Teddy told me. He said we need to eliminate those mortal sins coming into this next fight. So we're going to be working time in and time out. I don't know how many hours I'm going to be in the gym training, but I know that when he was down here, when we were training, I worked 4 hours with him nonstop. I did over 50 rounds in the ring with him, over 50 rounds. So, you know, Teddy's, you know, when he commits to something, he commits his all. He feels that, like, you know what, my life is in his hands, and he's gonna put it 100%, 110% into the training and make sure I'm focused and I'm ready for Rios.
This fight has been talked about for a little bit. How come it happened now, where it's been, you know, before it was mentioned that it was gonna happen, that it didn't get signed? Why did it happen this time? Was it just the money was right, or?
Listen, man, everything has to be right for a fight. You know, everything has to be right, and it was right. So, you know, when everything's right, we can make a fight. But if one side defers and the other side don't like something, then it's hard to really make a fight. Both guys' sides have to agree, and both of us did agree.
Tim, one more question as far as your commentator, what you said about Andre Ward. Did you come to that conclusion now or when? Because a lot of people always had Floyd at number 1. When did you come to the conclusion that Andre Ward was the number 1 guy?
I've been saying that. I told Andre Ward to his face. I told him to his face. I was like, man, you the best pound fighter in the game today, man. You know, I take nothing away from Floyd Mayweather. He's a great fighter, man. I take nothing away from him, man. He's a tremendous fighter. I met Floyd personally, cool dude, chill, always very respectful, so I can't say anything bad about the guy, at all. But it's my opinion. I feel that if Floyd was bigger and he fought against Andre Ward, I think Ward can get him.
Do you think Floyd is retiring after this fight?
I don't know. He says he is, so I mean that's the only thing you can go by, whatever he says.
Would you want him to retire, Tim, or do you think he should keep going?
Man, Floyd is good for boxing, man. It's gonna be different without Floyd Mayweather, man.
All right,
he's great for boxing, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck when you see Floyd leave. It's gonna suck, man. I'm telling you, it is, and everybody's gonna miss Floyd. Oh yeah, they gonna miss that flashiness. They gonna miss that money. He in there training with the money, and he hitting the bag. I mean, come on, man. That's funny.
Does that even get you hyped up too?
Yeah, no, it don't get me hyped up. But I'm just saying, man, that's hilarious. It's funny to me because it's like, man, nobody have that type of charisma. No one in boxing has that type of mindset like Floyd Mayweather, and that can back it up. You know what I mean? Nobody's like that. So, all right, guys.
Appreciate you,
Tim.
Thank you, baby.
All right.